Well, it's halftime. It's halfway through the year, and everyone's wondering, is the second half of the year going to be anything like the first half when we're talking about mortgage rates, real estate, and the economy at large? And although nobody knows, there are some things that are really good to talk about happening in our market right now. The first thing I want to talk about is how the media got it so wrong. You know, in the fourth quarter of 2022, the media jumped on rising interest rates, saying the market's going to crash and, no one's going to be able to buy a home. And here we are in July of 2023. And not only has the stock market not crashed, but the NASDAQ's up 32% year to date. The S&P 500's up 17%. And home values have appreciated somewhere between 2 and 4%, even with rates we haven't seen in 20 years. Now, that's very simple. It's because there are not enough homes for people to buy, and the demand, because of the population growth, is going up every single day. And so, again, the question is, what's coming next? Now, short of a black swan event, like a pandemic or a war or something that could happen, we're probably going to see the similar trend we have now, which is rates that are somewhere around the 6s, maybe 7s going into the end of the year. And the reason for that is because we're still dealing with inflation. And as much as the Fed has done to fight inflation by raising the Fed rate, he's probably going to raise it 2 more times by the end of the year. And with higher inflation and with the Fed raising rates, that's not a great environment for mortgage rates to come down. And I know a lot of people would love to see mortgage rates come down. But here's the thing. If mortgage rates come down, it's going to help affordability, and that's a good thing, but it's also going to create a lot more demand in the housing market. What we really need to see is more inventory. And I had a gal in my office ask me this morning, Chris, when do you think we're going to see more inventory, more homes for sale? I don't see enough new construction. And the problem is most contractors, small contractors, big developers, publicly traded companies that build all over the nation, they have really hit the pause button, and they were ready for it. Most of them know what happened in 2008, and they were smart. And so when rates started rising and we went into this inflationary environment where the cost of construction went up, a lot of these builders simply put their foot on the brake, and it's just added to the problem that we have right now, which is a lack of inventory for people to buy. And so heading into this next year, we really need to see some ways for affordability to come back into the market. I don't see home prices dropping. I don't see them going up by 20% next year either. But I think we're going to see a steady appreciation rate, and I think affordability will return for many people. But to be honest with you, there are a lot of people that are feeling the pressure right now. There's a lot of people that are working middle-class families that could have bought a home 2 years ago that simply can't right now. And so the biggest thing that people need to do is they need to read the writing on the wall. They need to look at this economy. And I'm not trying to get political. I don't really care about that. But the reality is when we have a country that continues to print money and create stimulus and make decisions that are inflationary, that make the costs of things go up, people have to really become aware of that and make a plan to become financially independent. They need to stay out of bad debt. Buying a house is a very good decision because you fix in your housing cost. It's not going to go up like rents that go up 6 to 8% a year. And then, save money. I mean, I hate to say this is common sense for most people, but I will tell you guys that a lot of people that I meet with, this is not what they're doing. And it's really the plan that most people have. The truth is a lot of people that should and could buy a home, if they simply didn't have expenses above their means, if they weren't paying for expensive cars that they don't need, if they just drove those cars a little bit longer, if they didn't have the credit card debt, if they didn't have some of the toys, they would be able to buy a house, and they'd be able to buy a house they really enjoy. And so it comes down to just realizing what your priorities need to be and making some changes. And that's not to bring shame on anyone. You're talking to a guy who was in really bad debt at one point in my life, and now I actually get paid to coach people on that, and it's something I enjoy doing. So if there's anything that I can do for you, please drop a comment, send me an email, give me a call. I'd love to talk to you. I talk to clients all day, and it's part of the job I love the most. If you haven't checked out my podcast yet, I started a podcast on this very topic. It's called The Money Hole Podcast, about finding wholeness in your life, and that money is a big part of that. And we've had some great people on, Navy SEALs, entrepreneurs, 22-year-olds who went from working at in and out to finding a way to make more money and buying their first multi-unit property. So I try to have people on there that inspire, give tactics and information that help people with their personal journey with finances and trying to have it all in life in an economy that continues to push back on us. So have a great month of July. Again, hope you're doing well, and we'll talk to you soon.